Om. 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 गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसन्न्यासयोगः। Kindly tell me which page and which shloka we're in. I can just browse through the shloka. Kindly let me know which page did we complete.
We have to start from 490. We finished till there.
Oh, 490. Huh? Good. Okay. I'll just quickly read the shloka, a few shlokas. Yeah, 490. So we have to start from 490. Okay. I will just read a paragraph before that, just to have the train of thought. Arjuna uvacha nashto mohasmritirlabdha tvatprasadan maya achyuta sthitosmi gata sandehaha karishye vachanam tava. Arjuna said, by your grace, my delusion is gone and I have gained recognition of myself. Achyuta, I remain as one from whom all doubts have gone. I will do what you say. Achyuta, my delusion is gone. I will do what you say. The purpose of the study of the Shastra is to remove delusion. And now, page 490. Sanjay's praise of Bhagavan's teaching. Now, and Sanjaya again addresses Dhritarashtra directly. Sanjaya uvacha ityaham vasudevasya parthasya cha mahatmanah samvadamimam shrosham adbhutam romishanam. संवादमिमं श्रोश्रम् अद्भुतं रोदर्शनम्. Sanjaya uvacha said, iti, in this manner, imam, this, adbhutam, wonderful, roma harshanam, that which makes one's hair stand at the end, at Kshamatam, that which makes one's hair stand on end. Samvadam, dialogue, Vasudevasya, Mahatmanah, of Krishna of great mind and heart. There is a footnote. It is to be understood that because of the word cha, the word Mahatmanah is connected to both Vasudeva and Partha. So Vasudevasya Mahatmanah means of Krishna of great mind and heart. Parthasya cha Mahatmanah of Arjuna of great mind and heart. Aham Ashrausham. Au Ashrausham. Ashrausham. I have heard. Sanjayः उवाच इति इमम् अद्भुतं रोमहर्षणं संवादं वासुदेवस्य महात्मनः पार्थस्य च महात्मनः अहम् अश्रौषम्. Sanjaya said, in this manner, I have heard this dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna of great mind and heart, which is wonderful and makes one's hair stand on end. Here, Sanjaya refers to Krishna as Vasudeva, the one in whom everything has its being. Kshamyatam. Read. Here, Sanjaya refers to Krishna as Vasudeva, the one in whom everything has its being, Vasu, and the one who is effulgent and all-knowing Deva, or simply the son of Vasudeva. And Arjuna is called Partha, the son of Pritha. The adjective Mahatma is applicable to both Krishna and Arjuna and has the meaning of the one whose mind is great. Previously, Arjuna was a samsari atma. Now, because he has said, my delusion is gone, nashto moha, he is the one whose atma is param brahma. And therefore, Sanjaya says, he is Mahan. Also, he has received the teaching directly from Lord Krishna, and therefore, he is a blessed soul. This dialogue between the teacher and the student, Sanjaya says, makes his hair stand on end. That is, there is Roma Harshana. It is a wonder, Adbhuta, something that never happened before. It covers all the topics, the entire Vedanta Shastra, and also yoga. Nothing was omitted. Thus, it is a complete Shastra. Sanjaya says, Idam aham ashrumama, ashrushama. I have heard this. Ashraushama, kshamyatam, ashraushama. Idam aham ashraushama. I have heard this. We already know from the Mahabharata that at the outset, before the war began, Vyasa gave Sanjaya the Divya Chakshus to see and know all that took place in the battlefield, wherever he was. Therefore, Sanjaya says in the next verse, by the grace of Vyasa, I could hear this dialogue between Bhagavan and Arjuna. व्यासप्रसादाच्छ्रुतवानेत् अद्गुह्यमः व्यासप्रसादाच्छ्रुतवान् एतद्गुह्यमहं परम् एतद्गुह्यं परम् अहं परम् योगं योगेश्वरात् कृष्णः उत्सा साक्षात् कथयत स्वयं योगं योगेश्वरात् कृष्णः उत्सा क्षम्यतां योगं योगेश्वरात् कृष्ण साक्षात् कथयत स्वयं. Kindly correct me if I'm wrong. सप्रसादात् भगवान् एतद्गुह्यमहं परं योगं योगेश्वरात् कृष्णात् साक्षात् कथयत स्वयम्. Vyasa by the grace of Vyasa, etat guhyam param yogam, to this secret and ultimate yoga. Yogeshwarat Krishnat, from Krishna, the Lord of Yoga. Swayam himself, Sakshat Kathayatah, directly teaching. Aham Shrutavan, I have listened. Vyasa Prasadat, etat guhyam param yogam, Yogeshwarat Krishnat Swayam Sakshat Kathayatah Aham Shrutavan. By the grace of Vyasa, I have listened to this secret and ultimate yoga from Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, directly teaching it himself. By the grace, I repeat, by the grace of Vyasa, I have listened to this secret and ultimate yoga from Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, directly teaching it himself. By Vyasa's grace, Sanjaya got to hear it directly. Sanjaya was hearing all this by the grace of Vyasa because Vyasa gave him a special eye, a Divya Chakshu, with which he could see and hear whatever that happened in the battlefield. That is, wherever he was, he would never miss all that happened anywhere in the battlefield. Another thing is understood here by implication. With ordinary eyes, we can only see what is available for perception. But with a Divya Chakshu and a prepared mind, one can see what is beyond the scope of perception. Otherwise, how could Sanjaya understand Krishna's message? He could understand that Atma is Brahman because of his preparedness. What did he hear? He heard all about yoga. The Shastra that talks about yoga is also called yoga, like how the book whose subject matter is Upanishad is also called Upanishad. This yoga is twofold, Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. It is called Para because it is capable of giving moksha. From whom did Sanjay hear it? Shankara makes the point that it is not passed down paramparaya but comes directly, sakshat, from the source itself, Bhagavan. Suppose Arjuna heard this teaching and then he told somebody else, and then somebody else told somebody else and somebody else. That is parampara. By the time it comes to you, some things could be added and some of them dropped, so that what you get is only an edited form, sometimes a distorted form. But here it is right from the source. Bhagavan himself talks about himself. He is the Lord of all yoga, Yogeshwara, the one who initiated both Jnana Yoga and Karma Yoga. He had himself talked about this earlier in the Gita Shastra. I told this imperishable yoga to Vaivasvan. He told it to Manu, and Manu told it to Ikshvaku. Imam Vivasvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivasvan Manave Praha Rikshvakave Abravit. That is from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, first verse. Therefore, he is called Yogeshwara. And also, it is he alone that is to be accomplished by the Karma Kanda or Jnana Kanda. As he himself says, I am the one to be known by all the Vedas. Vedaihi cha sarvaihi aham eva vedyaha. That is also from chapter 15, 15th chapter, 15th. He is both the initiator of this twofold yoga and the subject matter of this yoga. Sanjaya heard this not from the flute playing, mountain lifting, butter eating cowherd Krishna, but from Krishna, the teacher, Swayam Kathayatah Krishna. Krishna did just say a couple of sentences like you are Brahman, all this is Maya, or give some advice, but taught exhaustively in 17 chapters. When Jaya says Kathayataha, we understand that it is not simple talk, but proper teaching that went on there. So beautiful. So because Sanjaya had that Divya Chakshu, he could see beyond the limited perception of our normal eyes. So he could see wherever, whatever was happening in the battlefield. And more than that, he was able to digest what Bhagavan was saying about Brahman, that he is Brahman, the Atman is Brahman. So the Brahma Vidya was directly, he could assimilate that because he had that preparedness of his mind. That is very important. Sanjaya was prepared with his mind, and that's why the knowledge was very easy to recognize for him. And since it was directly from Bhagavan's mouth, there was no in between distortion. So that is why it has more impact. And he is, who is Krishna? He is not that Saguna Rupa Krishna who was cowherd and Makhanchor, but he was the Krishna who was that infinite Vishwarupa Darshana. So from his mouth he heard and he told. So he considers himself that because of Vyasa, he was able to hear that directly and understand, recognize that. And it was about Karma Kanda and Jnana Kanda. Yeah, if you want me to repeat, just let me know. Or if you want to share very beautiful shloka that because of the grace of Sri Vyasa, Sanjaya got that Divya Chakshu and he could see, he could hear whatever was happening directly from the battlefield. The word Sakshat is very important. And it was where he also, Bhagavan told it was not first time, it was told to Manu. It was told to Vaivaswan, he told it to Manu, and Manu told it to Ikshvaku.
Hari Om. There was some reason also, no, that why Sanjay was given the Divya Chakshu. If like some reason was given by Nanaji, I think that why Sanjay was given Divya Chakshu. He could have like Vyasa was the father of Dhritarashtra, no? Am I right or wrong? I don't know. He could have.
He was Satyavati's son. That I know.
Vyasa is
Vyasa.
Dhritarashtra's father. Yeah.
Yeah, Satyavati's
Yeah.
son, and
So
yeah.
he was Dhritarashtra's father also, no? So he could have given the Divya Chakshu to Dhritarashtra also so that he can see and like
Yeah,
that.
but he was not prepared with his mind. He had that Ajnana,
Yeah, but
deluded person, no?
Sanjay was
You know
not
what
a very illiterate
happened
person.
was the
Yeah,
Drashta says because he's blind, when he was blind, he could have seen the good things. Now this war is happening, everybody is going to fight and die. I don't want to see that gore, that gore thing. So I don't want to see it and suffer from it. I'd rather give that Jnana Sakshu to, I request you to give it to the Divya Drishti to
Sanjaya.
Sanjaya. Nor he actually, Vyasa Bhagavan, he wants to give the Divya Drishti to Dhritarashtra to
Dhritarashtra.
view what's happening in the battlefield. But he didn't want to see the agony of both of his family only fighting and all these people. So, going to die. Some damage going to happen that he knew, but then he didn't want to see it. But he wants to know what is happening, right? Like up to date kind of thing, information for him while the fight is going on in the field. So that's
yeah.
why
So
the Sanjaya got the vision from. But Vyasa Bhagavan agreed and gave the vision to the Sanjaya. So Sanjaya
yeah,
is the mentor for him, right?
Sanjay was not eligible. Still, he received Gyan Chakshu, and though he experienced all
No, not
that.
Jnana Shakti. We call it as they call it as a vision. Like of course, it's Divya Drishti means it's something like
Yeah, Divya Drishti, not Gyan. Sorry, Divya Drishti. Right.
yeah, it's not like yeah,
Yeah.
you can see it. He is given that
Yeah.
power that he can see it. The same thing when Krishna, he has been humiliated by Duryodhana when he came for us, like what do you call that? So
Compromise.
before war,
Sas-
he came like a
Sandhi karar.
right. Somebody come with a message, that we don't want the war. Please go by peace, but he wouldn't agree for that. Duryodhana wouldn't agree for that. He insulted him. Then he take the Vishwarupa and give the Divya Drishti to Dhritarashtra for him to see him. So that's why he will say, even that moment, he'll say, oh, you gave, I saw with this eyes, I saw the Krishna like a, Parabrahmam, and I don't want to see with the same eyes, I don't want to see all these papas, So that's another reason he would say, oh, I don't want to see anything. So another time they talk about this Divya Drishti, where he gives that vision to him and Gandhari, the wife also. So everybody sees him, except this Duryodhana, Saguni, all those people.
Yeah, very beautiful.
Thank you, Dr. Mara.
And the important thing is also that this is not parampara praptam, it is sakshat katayataha. So it is direct from the source. It is not handed down through the Guru Shishya parampara. It is directly given by by Bhagwan to Arjuna. Simultaneously, it was listened to by Sanjaya because of his Divya Chakshu. And this Divya Chakshu is nothing but, like Bela said, a prepared mind. I mean, he had a prepared mind and therefore he was given this. Similarly, if we extrapolate it to us, as we are sadhaks and little Arjunas, just like Arjuna, how much of Gita goes into us will depend upon our own preparedness. So when we listen to this again and again, that with a better and better prepared mind, then like what Nana had mentioned, it will be like as if Bhagwan is directly talking to us. It's like the clarity will become clearer and clearer. It also mentioned when you're chanting Bhagavad Gita, initially it is like you're chanting it. But when you keep chanting and you understand the meaning as you're chanting it, it is as if when Bhagavan Uvacha is said, it is like you, the knowledge is actually coming out from you. So that amount of, I mean, that's the power of the Bhagavad Gita. Because ultimately, we are none other than Bhagavan. That is the whole truth. That is the Brahma Vidya aspect of this. So two things. One is Karma Yoga and Brahma Vidya, Jnana Yoga. Because everything else in our Hindu scriptures is like, if you take all the Upanishads, it is a teacher taught kind of thing. There is a student that goes to the teacher, sits near him and asks him some question. And in reply to that, the whole Upanishad is given. Whereas Gita is the Sara of Upanishad. The whole gist, it is like the essence of the Upanishads is there in the Gita. That is why it is said, if you don't need to read so many scriptures, just hold on to the Bhagavad Gita. Which is why even Gurudev says, at least few shlokas every day, at least one shloka every day. Because once you start, that itself will keep the ball rolling. Yeah, maybe we can continue unless anyone else wants to share.
Yeah. Then Sanjaya says to Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra. Rajan samsmritya samvadam adbhutam ke arjunayoh punyam rishyami cha murmuhu. Rajan, O king, Keshavarjunayoh, between Krishna and Arjuna, imam, this adbhutam, wondrous, punyam, auspicious, samvadam,
Jai Gurudev
dialogue.
Bela.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's only for me, but the voice seems to be a little.
Yeah, there is a
Rapid.
notification. So somebody can continue sharing the screen. Somebody is available, Dr. Mara or Mrinalji or whoever, Sumaji.
Yeah, I can read biology. So you
Yeah,
read the.
I just read the yeah.
Yeah.
Adbhutam, wondrous, punyam, auspicious, samvadam, dialogue. Samsmritya, repeatedly recalling, muhuhu, again and again, rishyami cha, I rejoice. Rajan, Keshavarjunayoho, imam adbhutam punyam, samvadam, samsmritya, muhuhu, rishyami cha. Yeah, please take over, Dr. Mara. Dhanyavad.
Okay, thank you. O King, repeatedly recalling this wondrous, auspicious dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Again, O king, repeatedly recalling this wondrous, auspicious dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I rejoice again and again. Here, Sanjaya addresses Dhritarashtra as a sovereign Rajan, O king. The repetition of the word sam, samsmritya, samsmritya, remembering, indicates that always, at every moment, he remembers all those words of the dialogue again and again. What kind of dialogue? One that destroys all papa, all causes of bondage, all the causes of bondage, because it gives you moksha. It is therefore punya. Dwelling upon the words of Krishna and on Arjuna's questions, etc., he says, I rejoice, Harshyami, again and again, muhuhu and muhuhu. Not only that, Sanjaya further expresses his wonder, dwelling on the Vishwarupa Darshana that Krishna gave Arjuna. So that was a short one, but it's really nice. I'll read this paragraph one more time. Here Sanjaya addresses Dhritarashtra as a sovereign Rajan, O king. The repetition of the word samsmritya, remembering, indicates that always, at every moment, he remembers all those words of the dialogue again and again. What kind of dialogue? One that destroys all papa, all the causes of bondage, because it gives you moksha. It is therefore punya. Dwelling upon the words of Krishna and on Arjuna's questions, etc., he says, I rejoice, Krishyami, again and again, muhuhu, muhuhu. Not only that, Sanjaya further expresses his wonder, expresses his wonder dwelling on the Vishwarupa Darshana that Krishna gave Arjuna. So, do you want to? I don't know, I can't read this in Sanskrit.
Yeah,
You want?
yeah, and just here, just to bring to the notice that Dhritarashtra still he is not only blind with his eyes, but even from knowledge. Although it was said directly from Bhagwan's mouth, he is not that excited as Sanjaya is, because he's recalling again and again whatever the words were there. So beautiful.
Because he was in the samsara. he, he is covered by the ignorance. That's why.
Yes.
Yeah.
So his physical eyes are also blind, and his his inner eyes are also
Well,
blind.
he is
Blind.
knowledgeable, but this Atma Tattva, I don't know that he really understood that, because he was all concerned about, he had the moha after getting the kingdom for his son, right? That was when they have that kind of desire, then you're not anywhere near in this Atma Tattva, right? So it probably would be understanding that. So yesterday we read, I know you probably left for the class, how we read, assimilate the knowledge,
Yeah, kindly, if you don't mind, can you just narrate a few lines, Dr. Mara? I could not get time to
No, I
watch
didn't
the.
remember everything, but a few points. When we read Gita, we don't dwell upon. I missed the class, like couple of thing. You were fast, actually. I mean, meaning I came late. I have to apologize. But then, like, but don't dwell on that. So you're reading this particular verse, you concentrate on that, so you understand that better. So you live in the moment, meaning you pay attention, a single pointed focus that what you're reading right now, don't worry about what you read, what you're going to do next, all that. No. So that's how Krishna says, that helps this to understand this information. So one is the single pointed focus in the moment, focusing on what we're reading, and the second is assimilating that information slowly, so that, slowly meaning assimilating that information given every moment, then you will get the knowledge in the end. So that's the couple of points that we found yesterday. That was nice. How you're not worried about, okay, I missed the class, I'll go back and listen to it. Even day before yesterday, Friday night, I didn't, but I listened to your the tape. So like that, we try to make it up and go back and listen, and so we can understand. And then there was something else also Dr. Pramara was saying.
So, Dr. Mara,
Yeah.
the Ekagra Chetasa that was talked about yesterday,
Yeah.
by Bhagavan, is that we don't cloud our mind when we are listening to the Bhagavad Gita by previous concepts, like some things that we have maybe had, and then we hold on to the concepts and prejudices.
Right. Yeah. That is
which
also.
may, yeah. So when you're
So it's not
listening,
about the same things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know whether the import was like you take one shloka as it comes, which is fine, because we take the whole Gita in the context of the Gita. But it was like, because each one of us who come, which have a little base of some knowledge that we have gathered over from our childhood, so we may have such certain biases, certain concepts. But when we come to the Gita, we have to listen to it prayerfully, innocently, rather than doubting it. That's what he says. He says, people who doubt me, don't give them this knowledge. They would not get the import of this.
Right.
So, initially, in the first few shlokas, he talks about who should be given the Gita. What is the eligibility to get Gita? That is one. And how should one listen is with this, the ekagram, with that vyavasayatmika buddhi, that chitta ekagrata. Ekagrata is that one-pointedness, with that focus, and more than that, just the focus and concentration, it is with that innocence in your mind. You might get questions, that is natural, which is what is clarified in the Manana, but not with hard concepts that you've had before. Otherwise, we will not let, it is like water, unless we are innocent, the water will not, like sand, like mud, water will not seep in. If we hold on to hard concepts, like say a rock, the water will just flow past. It will not seep in, right? So similarly, when we come to this knowledge, we should, we sit with that, in that space of innocence and prayerful listening.
Yeah, true. What I understood.
You're not audible, Dr. Brahma. Like in between, voice is going away.
Oh,
my voice going away?
Yeah, after you said innocent, then we could not hear anything.
Oh.
Or is it me
I
don't know, like for me, I couldn't hear after
my
what
internet
you said,
is showing full, and my volume, I'm actually on my phone, so volume should not be.
We could hear it. Maybe
Maybe some local
maybe my Wi-Fi. Yeah.
No, I just said we should sit and, we should listen with a prayerful listening, rather than like how in our happiness program we talk of intellectual listening, where we have a lot of ifs and buts going on in our mind. And it's also not emotional listening, where you just get carried away by emotion. It is prayerful listening where you let that
At
knowledge
least,
seep in.
yeah, the one thing what I felt was the sense that Shraddha, when we have that, and you're not really, I mean, you do question, the doubts will come in our mind. What I meant is that I do get the point that you have to understand this verses are connected and they are understood. You have to be understood in the context. But I felt like when you're reading at the moment to concentrate on, and I do agree with you about prayerful and listening to it, and because uh, when we I know there are so many things are connected here. When you're doing it, the mind, I was also when we lag behind, you're missing something, so then you're worried about, oh, we missed it, and
Correct.
that kind
No,
of
no.
stuff.
I get what you're trying to
Yeah,
mention, what you were
yeah,
talking of. Exactly.
yeah,
That is it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
even supposing you've missed a few classes and then you've just come,
yeah,
even there, rather than your mind regretting, Array, I missed all these classes. So your mind is caught up in the past. Rather than that, like you very
right,
rightly said,
yeah,
keep your mind in the moment.
moment,
Very beautiful perspective that you brought in. So keep your mind in the present and listen to this with that space. You can always go back and catch up with what is lost. Very
right.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
that's all. That's perfect, Dr. Mara.
Yeah,
I just wanted to bring out the other perspective as well.
true. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that gives our, recollecting all those things. It's really good. I miss some of the points too. Yeah. So that's what we did. I mean, there's some more, but then this is the main thing we were
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
That way, any of the shlokas, or like
Yeah.
Ramana Maharshi is filtered out those Chatvarimshat, those uh, 34 shlokas, those
Mm-hmm.
42 shlokas, not 32,
42.
34,
Right. Yeah.
42 shlokas.
Mm-hmm.
Um, wherever you touch the Gita, it
Mm-hmm.
would take you to the essence, so to say.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
any of the shlokas. So yeah, that's nice. You can continue, I think.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
You want to move
I'll
up on
just
the
read.
stage?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
read
just
the
read the
sloka.
shloka.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
तच्च संस्मृत्य संस्मृत्य रूपम् अत्यद्भुतं हरेः विस्मयो मे महान् राजन् हृष्यामि च पुनः पुनः च and further Harehi of the Lord Hari Atyadbhutam Rupam, that most wondrous form, Samsmritya, Samsmritya, repeatedly recalling, Mahan Vismayaha, me, great amazement for me, Rajan, king, Punah Punaha, again and again, Rishyami cha, and I rejoice. Cha Harehe tat atyadbhutam rupam samsmritya samsmritya mahan vismayah me rajan punah punaha rishyami cha. Yeah, please take on.
And further, repeatedly recalling that most wondrous form of the Lord, Hari, Hari, I have the great amazement. I have great amazement, O King, and I rejoice again and again. So he is so happy. And further I'll read this again. And further, repeatedly recalling that most wondrous form of the Lord, Hari, I have great amazement, O King, and I rejoice again and again. Not only was the dialogue presented here, but also the description of the visual form of Krishna as the entire cosmos. In the 11th chapter, at the request of Arjuna, Krishna showed his cosmic form, in which Arjuna could see everything, including time, all the elements, Lord Yama, and all the Devatas. And whatever Arjuna saw, Sanjaya also saw. In that particular form, they could see everything. And Sanjaya found it the most wondrous form of the Lord. Ati Atpudam Rupam Harehe. Recollecting it again and again, there was a great amazement, Mahan Vishmaya for him. As the words are wonderful, the form is also wonderful. And as he rejoices in remembering the dialogue, Sanjaya also rejoices in recollecting the cosmic form of Krishna. Sanjaya now sums up by expressing his devotion to Lord Krishna and his sure opinion as to the outcome of the war. You want to read again? Okay. Not only was the dialogue presented here, but also the description of the visual form of Krishna as the entire cosmos. In the 11th chapter, at the request of Arjuna, Krishna showed his cosmic form, in which Arjuna could see everything, including time, all the elements, Lord Yama, and all the Devatas. And whatever Arjuna saw, Sanjaya also saw. In that particular form, they could see everything, and Sanjaya found it the most wondrous form of the Lord, Adi Atpudam Rupam Harehe, recollecting it again and again, and that was great amazement, Mahan Vishmaya, for him. As the words are wonderful, the form is also wonderful. And as he rejoices in remembering the dialogue, Sanjaya also rejoices in recollecting the cosmic form of Krishna. Sanjaya now sums up by expressing his devotion to Lord Krishna and his sure opinion as to the outcome of the war. You want to read the sloka?
Yeah.
Mm.
Very beautiful, no? Sanjaya was prepared, so he was not scared by that Vishwarupa. He wants to recall again and again.
It's very
So
nice.
lovely.
Yeah, this is the last sloka. We'll finish and then we'll do the Manana.
Can you please read the last sentence, last two sentences, please?
The Sanjaya now sums up. Is that the one you want to read?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Sanjaya now sums up by expressing his devotion to Lord Krishna and his sure opinion as to the outcome of the war. So he gives his opinion as to what's going to happen at the end of the war by listening to Krishna and Lord Krishna, Arjuna's samvada.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yatra Yogeshwar Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanurdharaha Tatra Shrirvijayo Bhuti Dhruvani Tirmatirmama Yatra, wherever, Yogeshwarah Krishna. Krishna, the Lord of Yoga. Yatra, wherever. Parthah Dhanurdharah. Arjuna, the one who bears the bow. Tatra, there. Shrihi, wealth. Vijayah, victory. Bhutihi, various riches. Dhruva, definite. Nitihi, justice. Mama matihi, this is my conclusion. Yatra Yogeshwarah Krishnah, Yatra Parthah Dhanurdharah, Tatra Shrihi Vijayah Bhutihi Dhruva Nitihi Mama Matihi.
Wherever there is Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, wherever there is Arjuna, the one who bears the bow, their wealth, victory, various riches, and definite justice are present. This is my conclusion. So I'll read this again. Wherever there is Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, Wherever there is Arjuna, the one who bears the bow, there wealth, victory, various riches, and definite justice are present. This is my conclusion. Sanjaya says, wherever Krishna is, there is Shri, wealth, and Vijaya, victory. And wherever Arjuna is, there too there is wealth and victory. And when he says wherever Krishna is, he means in whose heart Krishna is. Arjuna here is called the one who carries a bow, Dhanurdhara. Dhanurdhara. That is significant here, and later we will look into it further. Okay, so that is significant here. Later we look into it further. Wherever Krishna is, all wealth will be. Nowhere else. Because Lakshmi is inseparable from Krishna. The wealth is not ordinary wealth, but it includes all kinds of wealth. Bhuti, moral wealth. Bhuti or Bhuti. Bhuti, moral wealth. Material wealth, spiritual wealth. So it's all three of them. Moral wealth, material wealth, and spiritual wealth, etc. They will all be there for the one who has Krishna and Arjuna in his heart. Oh, there will all be there for the one who has Krishna and Arjuna in his heart. It is certain, Dhruva. There is no failure possible. Then again, justice, Nidhi, will also certainly be there. That means there will be order, proper government in terms of dharma. Justice will be there because Krishna is dharma. It is not Krishna's dharma. Krishna is dharma. Even though Krishna is more than dharma, dharma is not separate from Krishna. Of course, Sanjaya didn't want to attract the wrath of Dhritarashtra, and therefore he says, this is my conclusion, Matihi Mama. Otherwise, Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra here that if he has some blind hopes that Duryodhana would win, he had better forget it. Wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, there will be wealth, victory, and justice. In this way, Sanjaya concludes the whole conversation. So there's something continuing, right? Okay. Wherever there is a proper attitude and effort, Lord's grace is always there. Let us look now at why Sanjaya calls Arjuna Dhanurdhara, the one who wields the bow. Mere Arjuna will not achieve victory. He must be ready to do what is to be done. Only can there be victory, etc. By calling him Dhanurdhara, Sanjaya indicates that Arjuna is a human being who is ready to perform his duty. And it becomes yoga when Krishna is recognized. Otherwise, it is simple karma, where a person recognizes Lord Krishna. Again, where a person recognizes Lord Krishna and is ready to do his duty, there will be antakarna shuddhi and then knowledge. Thus, Shri here can be considered knowledge as well as material wealth. So the Shri here can be considered as knowledge, considered knowledge as well as material wealth. Everything will be there for him. Because he does not sit and regret, and that is because he knows that the giver of the results of all actions, karma paladata, is by his side. Once you have that deva on your side, that unknown factor is no longer unknown. in the sense that it is not going to spoil the result of your undertaking. The unknown factor is controlled by invoking Ishvara. So again, the unknown factor is controlled by invoking Ishvara. Real control is taking Ishvara into account. The real control is taking Ishvara into account. If you want to have control without taking Ishvara into account, you are in trouble. Not all the variables can be controlled, but if you take the controller on your side, you have surrendered, and that attitude makes life simple. Then karma becomes yoga, and because of that, there is a grateful acceptance, prasada buddhi, of whatever comes. Therefore, there is no failure, there is always victory. Okay, I'll read this paragraph one more time because it is a really good paragraph for us. Okay. Wherever there is a proper attitude and effort, again, wherever there is proper attitude and effort, Lord's grace is always there. Lord's grace is always there. Wherever there is proper attitude and effort, Lord's grace is always there. Let us look now at why Sanjaya calls Arjuna Dhanurdhara, the one who wields the bow. Mere Arjuna will not achieve victory. He must be ready to do what is to be done. He must be ready to do what is to be done. Only then can there be victory, etc. By calling him Dhanurdhara, Sanjaya indicates that Arjuna is a human being who is ready to perform his duty. So here Sanjaya indicates that Arjuna is a human being who is ready to perform his duty. One is readiness, and then it becomes yoga. And it becomes yoga then when Krishna is recognized. So he surrendered himself to Lord Krishna. So when it becomes yoga, when Krishna is recognized. Otherwise, it's a simple karma. Where a person recognizes Lord Krishna and is ready to do his duty, then there will be antakarna shuddhi and then knowledge. Thus, Sri here can be considered knowledge. So he's getting knowledge as a wealth, as well as material wealth. The Sri is considered as a knowledge as well as wealth. Everything will be there for him because he does not sit and regret. And that is because he knows that the giver of the results of all actions, karma pala data. So that is the underline this word also. He knows that the giver of the results of all actions, karma pala data, is by his side. Once you have the Daiva on your side, that unknown factor is no longer unknown, in the sense that it is not going to spoil the result of your undertaking. The unknown factor is controlled by invoking Ishvara. Real control is taking Ishvara into account. Okay, so you're taking Ishvara into account, then there's a controlling the unknown factors. If you want to have control without taking Ishvara into account, you are in trouble. Not all variables can be controlled, but if you take the controller on your side, you have surrendered. Okay, but if you take the controller on your side, you have surrendered, and that attitude makes life simple. So this is where the attitude and effort. Then karma becomes yoga. And because of that, there is grateful acceptance, prasada buddhi, of whatever comes. Therefore, there is no failure, there is always victory. Such a nice paragraph. If we learn from every experience, there is no need to draw a line. Generally, we draw a line as though it is all over. An enterprising businessman who incurs some losses does not wind up his business. If he has incurred a loss, he tries to find what happened and keeps going. He knows that it is a process in which sometimes you incur loss and sometimes gain. Therefore, he does not draw a line. If you do not draw a line, can you move the paragraph? If you do not draw a line, you are always a winner. Draw a line and you are a loser. In living a successful life, there is no necessity to draw a line. Yeah. In living a successful life, there is no necessity to draw a line because the whole life is the complete life to be lived purposefully, learning at every step. When should you draw the line? Only at the time of death. The whole life is a process, and if Krishna is on your side, you are a winner. If not, you are not. Even though Duryodhana thought that he called all the shots, as he had larger armies and all the invincible warriors, he lost the war. Without Krishna, even Arjuna would have met Lord Yama on the first day itself, because Krishna was sitting there as his driver. He went on to victory. Without that driver, in spite of all his weaponry and skills, Arjuna would not even have fought. At the beginning of the fight, he was caught between the horns of dilemma of having to choose between the duty and affection. He could not even start. Where is the question of fighting? Because Krishna was there. There was victory. Certainly, there will be justice, niti, prosperity, buddhi. Because it is mentioned separately, Sri can also be taken as knowledge, vidya. So there's a justice, prosperity, and knowledge, niti, buddhi, and vidya. There, everything will be there. We can understand this to be true individually. So we can understand this to be true individually and also with reference to a society where there is niti, okay, where there is niti, each one does his job and therefore there is plenty for everybody. In whichever period of time or place that Krishna is there, people are ready to do what is to be done. Then all this will be there. Thus ends chapter 18 of the Bhagavad Gita. With this, the Bhagavad Gita itself, the Shankara's commentary also ends. Now we shall see the concluding statements of the Bhashya and the Gita itself. Om Tat Sat Iti Sri Mahabharate Sata Sagastrayam Samhitayam Vayasikam Bhishma Parvani Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Sri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Moksha Sannyasa Yogo Nama Ashtadasodhyayaha. We conclude with the Om Tat Sat. Om is everything and that alone is Satya. Again, we conclude with Om Tat Sat. Om is everything and that alone is Satya. In the epic of 10,000 verses written by Vyasa, in the Bhishma Parva of the Mahabharata, in this section called the Bhagavad Gita, which enjoys the status of an Upanishad because its subject matter is the knowledge of Brahman, Brahma Vidya, and is also Yoga Sastra in the dialogue that took place between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, is this chapter called Moksha Sannyasa, the renunciation, that is the renunciation of all activities by giving up the sense of doership, kartrutva. In the wake of the knowledge that Atma is not a doer, that gives freedom. Many things were told in this Shastra, but predominantly renunciation of all actions, Sarva Karma Sannyasa, was pointed out, and thus the last chapter is rightly called Moksha Sannyasa. What is this? It is Srimad Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Govinda Bhagavat Pujya Govinda Bhagavat Pujya Pada Sishya Srimad Acharya Shankara Bhagavataka Kritau Sri Bhagavad Gita Bhashye Moksha Sannyasa Yogo Namastat Sadu. Oh, sorry. Bhagavad Gita Moksha Sannyasa Yogo Nama Ashtadashodhyaya. And finally, this chapter was commented upon by the revered teacher Sri Shankara, who is the disciple of Paramahamsa Sannyasi Sri Govinda Bhagavat Pada. Samapti Maga. What is this? Gita Shastra.
Samaptimagama idam agamadidam Gita Shastram.
Samapti Magada. Okay. Samapti Magada Mahamad idam Gita Shastram. Thus ends the Gita Shastra. Oh, that's it. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Oh, you have another thing? Oh, we are going back to the finishing this. Okay. Generally, when we complete a book like this, we repeat the first verse so that we start all over again. This is to indicate that its study is a continuous study, a study of a lifetime. There is Rashtra Uvacha. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandava chaiva kim kurvata sanyaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. Why study the Gita? This is very nice, right? Why study the Gita by Swami Dayananda Saraswati? So we are continuing, right? I don't know what time it is.
Very beautiful, Mara. Thank you so much, Mara.
Want to do? Huh? Sorry?
Very, very nice. Very beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, but we are going to read still another at least 5-10 minutes. Is that okay? Or you want to do Manana?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how long this is. Okay. Why study the Gita by Swami Dayananda Saraswati? Gita Sugita Kartavya. Kim Anyaihi Shastra Vistarahi. Facing the Bhagavad Gita, this verse says the Gita is. One second. Okay. Praising the Bhagavad Gita, the verse says that the Gita has to be studied well. Gita Sugita Kartavya. What will you gain by studying other books in detail? Kim Anyaihi Shastra Vistaraihi. This verse presents the Gita as a book to be studied, a book containing everything that one has to know through the scriptures. Balaji, you want to read?
Sorry.
Yeah, if you are not comfortable, I can read. Don't worry. Whenever you feel comfortable, please let me know, Dr. Mara.
Sure. Just
Anyone
like
else would like to read? Because if my voice is breaking, then it will be a disturbance. Just let me know if it is breaking, then somebody else can help to read. So this is the Why Study the Gita by Swami Dayananda Saraswati. Praising the Bhagavad Gita, this verse says that the Gita has to be studied well. Gita, Sugita, Kartavya. What will you gain by studying other books in detail? Kim anyaihi shastra vistaraihi. This verse presents the Gita as a book to be studied, a book containing everything that one has to know through the scriptures, Vedas. It doesn't belittle the efficacy or the necessity of studying other scriptural books. It only points out that the study of the Gita amounts to the study of other scriptures. The source books of the scriptural wisdom of India are the four Vedas, Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. The Vedas are fulfilled in the last portion called Vedanta or Upanishads. Another famous Sanskrit verse listens these Upanishads to a cow and the Gita becomes the cow's milk. Sarvopanishado gavoh dogdha gopala nandanah partho vatsah sudhir bhokta dugdham gitamritam mahat. The Gita, the milk, is milked by the Lord Krishna himself, who is presented as an avatar of the Lord in the Mahabharata and in the Bhagavata. He is the one who is teaching the Gita to Arjuna. Arjuna serves as the calf to whom the milk, the message of the Gita is given. So I think this is from the Gita Mahatmyam. Parthaya Pratibodhita, from that. So importance of Bhagavad Gita, just like the
oh, that
Arjuna
was
is
this.
a.
Okay.
You want to read? Continue.
No, Balaji, I have like I've been having
Yeah, no problem.
coughing a
No.
Can I
lot.
try?
Yeah, you can try. Anybody can read, please.
Yeah, you want to repeat or you want to read ahead, Dr. Sorry, Madhuri ji?
Whatever way you just read, it's my almost first attempt.
Kindly.
You can read
Yesterday,
from
Dr. Brahmara said after finishing this, we are supposed to do Gita Mahatmyam. I don't know. I just will check with her and see if that's okay with her for us to finish, complete
Yeah,
everything.
this
We
one
can
is, I think, three more pages. It will take time. So, do we want to uh, have the Gita Mahatmyam and read this? Whatever everyone says, Dr. Brahmaraji says.
Yeah, I think we'll continue reading this, and tomorrow
Okay,
we can do the Gita Mahatmyam.
okay. Dhanyavad. Madhuri ji, you can read, my dear.
So from what constitutes, from where I should start it?
Yeah, what constitutes? No, the previous paragraph I read. If still you want to read again, you can read from here, the source book.
The source books of the, sorry, the source books of the spiritual wisdom of India are the four Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Atharva Veda. The Vedas are fulfilled in the last portion called Vedanta or Upanishads. Another famous Sanskrit verse likens these Upanishads to a cow, and the Gita becomes the cow's milk. Sarvopanishado Gavaha. Dogdha Gopal Nandanaha Partho Vats Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat. The Gita, the milk, is milked by Lord Krishna himself, who is presented as an avatar of the Lord in the Mahabharata and in Bhagavata. He is the one who is teaching the Gita to Arjuna. Arjuna serves as the calf to whom the milk, the message of the Gita, is given. What constitutes a scripture? A scripture is something that has a message with a lasting universal value. What is relevant now may not be relevant later, nor may it have been relevant before. Sorry. The scripture's message should be relevant to me as an individual and to you. It should be relevant to anyone at any time and place. Only when a message addresses certain problems that are always there for human being does it have lasting relevance. Because the Veda and the Gita have that kind of message, they are a scripture. The Gita contains two main topics. The Gita is recognized and highly respected by the scholars and the devoted lay public in India because of its two main topics, Yoga Shastra and Brahma Vidya. Together, they form a body of knowledge which is very important for every individual. Yoga Shastra, the knowledge meant to make a person mature as an individual, is called Yoga Shastra. A mature individual is one who is free from conflicts, fear, agitation, guilt, and hurt. Yoga, as it is taught in the Gita, helps one to become relatively composed, tranquil, alert, and free. In short, a cheerful person. You are then fit to gain Brahma Vidya. Wow. Brahma Vidya. Brahma Vidya is knowledge of the whole, a knowledge that liberates a person. A person who has become mature by yoga has something more to accomplish. Total freedom called moksha. To know Brahman is to know the truth of oneself as the whole, as complete. It is a knowledge that frees you from the notion of being small, limited, mortal being. These two topics of the Gita, which gives the very essence of all four Vedas, make the Gita a scripture with a message that is relevant for everyone. The context of the Gita. The Gita itself is set in a battlefield, not in the Himalayas or in a forest. Arjuna is face to face with a problem born of conflict between his familial affections and the call of the duty. On one side, it seems to be necessary for him to perform his duty, which was to fight the war. Then there is another equally powerful pull, his affections for his family and teachers and his own self-respect, which conflict with the concept of duty. Caught between the horns of duty and affection, Arjuna is confused as he stands between the two forces on the battlefield. The battle had been declared because Duryodhana had usurped the kingdom. The rightful rulers were the Pandavas, Arjuna and his four brothers, who had been in exile for 13 years. When they returned to claim the kingdom back, as it was promised, Duryodhana, who had enjoyed absolute power, didn't want to give up the kingdom. The Pandavas had tried to avoid a war by asking Krishna to act as a mediator. Krishna went to Duryodhana to work out a solution so that both parties would be happy. Duryodhana wouldn't give the kingdom back nor even share the kingdom with the Pandavas. He would not give a district, a country, a village with 5 houses, nor a house with 5 rooms. Not even a square inch of land would he give. He said, "Let them either go back to the forest or meet me on the battlefield." Thus, Krishna's attempt to negotiate had failed. Had failed. Let them either go back to the forest or meet me on the battlefield. Thus, Krishna's attempt to negotiate had failed, and there was no way of avoiding a war. Arjuna and his brothers were supposed to be the rulers. Duryodhana, their cousin, was occupying the kingdom improperly. Arjuna, who was considered the greatest archer of the time, was now called upon to fight to uphold the Dharma. Given this situation, the Gita opens. Arjuna is seated in a chariot driven by Lord Krishna and drawn by white horses. He has been waiting for this day to settle his account with Duryodhana. Duryodhana had wronged him in a number of incidents throughout his life, but he could do nothing. Now the day has come. Arjuna is a flame of fury and he wants to know in this battlefield who are the people with whom I should fight. He asks Krishna to place the chariot between the two forces. Arjuna's conflict. When Arjuna looked, he found highly respected people like Drona, his own teacher, Bhishma, his grandfather, and many relatives and acquaintances with whom he has to fight. He said, "What is the use of fighting all these people? Without killing them, I am not going to get the kingdom back. And what is the use of getting the kingdom back by destroying the people in whose company I would be happy?" Arjuna saw that in war, nobody is a winner. I don't care for the kingdom, nor I am interested in royal comforts. I don't see anything to be gained by the war. I see a bleak, dark future. Therefore, I am not interested in this fight. Arjuna gave up his bow and arrows. Then Krishna spoke to Arjuna to enthuse him, urging him to do his duty. Arjuna becomes a shishya while caught between the call of the duty and his emotions. Arjuna begins to appreciate a fundamental problem, the problem of a human being. That problem takes possession of his mind and he wants to find a solution. Finding a teacher in Lord Krishna, he presents himself to Krishna as a shishya, disciple. Arjuna was always a devotee, but not a Shishya. He finds himself a Shishya on the battlefield. Lord Krishna accepts Arjuna as a disciple and teaches him in the succeeding 17 chapters of the Gita. Throughout the Gita, the Yoga Shastra is given, telling one the ways and means to be a mature person, free from conflicts, fear, hurt, and guilt. Along with the yoga message is the Brahma Vidya, knowledge of the reality of yourself, being the essence of everything, your being the whole. The Gita has all that is to be learned from the four Vedas, which are a vast literature. Therefore, the Gita has to be studied, and if it is understood well, everything is as well understood. This is in praise of the Gita. Shall we stop now? Brahmaraji, Belaji?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I think we'll stop here. In fact, that paragraph where it is talked of what is the importance of Ishvara, taking Ishvara into consideration. What is the essence of Karma Yoga? That paragraph is really very beautiful. Maybe we can revisit that tomorrow. And we'll conclude tomorrow. I think tomorrow.
That's what we said earlier, like prior to, prayerful thinking, right? That's exactly what it said. It was so nicely said about how to do a karma with the prayerful attitude.
And not drawing a line. See, when you draw a line, say this is failure, this is joy, that's sorrow. You are creating you're treating life as a business. Whereas when you consider Ishvara, you've taken him onto your side. Whatever comes is prasada, is whether it is joy or sorrow, you take it in your stride, right? That paragraph is really so beautiful. That
was beautiful. Yeah, that's why I read it. Also, the way you said it, right? The Ishvara, when you have the Ishvara on your side, you can control everything. When you don't have it and you don't have any control over the variables, so that actually true, right? I mean, even in our own experience, we have come across and it's so nice to read this because every day you experience all these things.
So maybe we'll do a repeat tomorrow.
We'll just here today when you're reading it so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. This is a beautiful lesson, like we reading this sannyas, moksha sannyasa yoga.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev, thank you.
निरुपमनित्यनिरंशकेऽप्यखण्डे मयि चिति सर्वविकल्पनादिशून्ये घटयति जगदीश जीवभेदम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया श्रुतिशतनिगमान्तशोधकानपि अहह धनादिनिदर्शनेन सद्यः कलुषयति चतुष्पदाद्य भिन्ना न घटितघटना पडीयसी माया सुखचिदखण्डविबोधमद्वितीयम् वियदनलादिविनिर्मित्ते नियोज्य भ्रमयति भवसागरे नितान्तम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया अपगतगुणवर्णजातिभेदे सुखचितिविप्रविडार्यहं कृतिं च स्फुटयति सुतदारकेहमोहम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया विधिहरिहरविभेदमप्यखण्डे बत विरचय्य बुधानपि प्रकामम् भ्रमयति हरिहरविभेदभावान् घटितघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया
Thank you so much.